Good morning. This is your crypto a day morning. Today's date comes in that of Monday. It's the 21st of January 2019. All bets, trades of the like. That's within each's own risk and their own reward. In this video, we'll take a look at Bitcoin as well as codes like AID, a monetary unit, and I believe it's Tron that I'm going to be focusing on. Within Bitcoin, ever since the decline on January 19th, as it remains in this sideways range from before Christmas, still up to this point, a correctionary move from this last downplay. Hasn't broken this level of support, but it's looking more and more likely as we continue forward that it's going to do such. But as I keep saying, it's got to break these key levels before I'm going to be totally convinced that it's going to be looking very probable for a decent leg lower. But it does seem very normally before those leg lowers occur that situations just like I'm seeing here, not a surprise, because you have this down move that was above the 18 average of highs attempting to break out last time, and then from this move it has been a week and a half of just going sideways in this much smaller range within such. And as we look at just the last couple of days now, on Saturday, the price action got up to the 18 average of highs to a price point of around 36 or 3800. 30. Just look at the high number on top, 3774. But yesterday, leaving below it and just really barely hanging in there right now at this lower end. Maybe a possible pause day. Maybe today's a day where it has a significant move. But if I'm seeing price action in the 3300s area, breaking below 34, which would be, and even at the low 34s, 34.25, then I'm not going to be liking its probability moving forward, or at least I'll like its probability to have at least one leg lower. Breaking down below 3100 and change, I'll be looking to somewhere in the 2000 highs, 2800, 700, 600 ballpark area as a conservative level. Now let's move on to some altcoins, starting off with AID coin, which has pretty much been one of my favorites. The market hasn't really done overall too much in the last little while, but it's doing a lot. When you have these little small moves in here that occur, the situation on the 18th of January, price has a rise higher, but notice what it didn't do. What it didn't do was it didn't come back deep into this area, it didn't go down to the 18 average of lows, and it really did support, not where it came from down here, it went above that, but it supported the general area of these two hits or high levels on the 24th and 25th of last month, the two hit areas on the 5th and the 6th, as well as the resistance area of January the 12th. Lifting off from this level, already establishing this point of resistance, well then I'm looking for this to possibly have a very interesting move going forward. As a trader myself, using the buy low sell high strategy, I was able to sell at 949 in here, and thankfully I was able to buy pretty much near this bottom. I in fact originally had it around 650, then I reduced it to 620 because of how the order book looked, and then it was at the point where it was better to bring it back up, which I did, and I bought it in here. I still haven't sold yet, at least during this rally higher. I'm looking to sell pretty close, even a little above where I did last time, next, south of the 1000 mark, but north of 950. That's where I'm currently looking to sell at this point. So therefore, if this tops right now, and it comes back down to here, well, that stops me from buying back, because if I were to sell here, I could easily buy back at this point. But I'm not looking for that to happen, or I think it's a better mathematical play to let this go, try to see if I can get a sell here. If I do, well, I'd be looking to buy back within this range as it continues. But if it does sell here, then I realize, well, what did this move do? It went up to like 16. And if I'm selling at 950, I could easily look to sell my next order somewhere up here. And I'm looking at about a 50-60% move, which is pretty decent. Now, can it go higher than that? Question mark. Well, in just showing the pretty much all the data I can get, it was over 2,000. And when these things go, these cryptos, they can just take off like, well, it's interesting how they do such. 3x, 5x, 9x, 20, 40x gains. Yeah, that's part of the story for a lot of them, especially for the ones that are trade under lower volume or lower trade volume. And this one most certainly would be amongst that situation as well. They're the ones that are going to have the more wilder moves. So no, I'm not going to guarantee that it's going to do such, or that's definitely not going to do it, that it's going to happen today, tomorrow, or this week. But I like its probabilities this week over any other given week that we could have a 4, 5 day, 7, 10 day stretch run. That could just be magnificent. Right now, there's no volume showing any type of interesting sparks, at least not as of yet. It can come there after the fact coming forward. But for me, price only pays. So therefore, if the price comes up close to 1,000, I'm going to sell about a third of what I own, almost. And what I do is I sell it for X amount. So therefore, if I buy X amount at one level, say 1 unit, and then it goes up 25%, it would be worth 1.25. I would have to sell 0.25 worth, or 1/5, and then keep on doing that whether it's a buy or a sell, meaning I'll buy and sell the amount to get it to that point. And within such, trading it just compared to holding on, because the reason I got into this, not only did the days before like have those so awesome moves, but after this, I've been seeing all of this, I just had to enter into the position, so I did. It was December the 10th at 635 price point that I got in. So it would have been this day in here. So what I seen at the time was all of those moves that were so magnificent. It was already back to the 18. So I seen this back in here. Just this little small one here. This little move, the price point down there, and this last one. And then some of these other ones in here that it looked like it was worth doing. And then we can see that it's had a few of these moves, selling in every single one of them for myself. And again, hoping for a nice little move. Now, as far as trading this against that of compared to just holding it, well, thus far, and this isn't the current level based on the price-ish point where it's at now, I'm up 65% on this current trade, with the market up about 28%. And within the last sell, what was at 949, this price point was obviously higher. It came back. In this case, the retracement on this from the point low, so these are the point lows, it gave back a lot smaller of a retracement. And then you have, compare the orange line, its retracement was deeper. And then its up retracement, this is noticeably over half, and this is noticeably over 3/4. So therefore, this is just showing that it does a very good job of overperforming the market. Now, if A comes in and starts having those 3, 4x, 5, 7x kind of gains, I can guarantee you that this orange line is going to rise above this blue line. Thus, it would have been better to, on that date, buy at the price point I mentioned, then just do nothing if it goes up 3 or 4 times. Of course, for myself, long term, I realize if that happens and the market has a spectacular move, it's going to come back and it's going to retrace. They always do such. And then in such with this, if this goes way above and the market goes up, say, an 8x move, and then it might fall 70% or 65%, and then this is when the orange line would dip back below the blue one again. Moving on to monetary unit, and just because you see, oh my goodness, this was awesome to be able to sell up here, and then it's already back down. Unfortunately for me, my sell order was around in here. So my next one above that was, well, north of this number here. So I didn't sell up towards this area, but I did, however, sell here. And that's my first trade since the calendar year in 2019. My last one was in around December 30th or 31st, I would have believed, which really was it? Let me just double check. And it was a buy 468 on December 31st. So therefore I didn't buy at this lower end. 468 down to 413 wasn't worth doing. But this move that happened in December 16th on, I took advantage of selling there and then buying back, and I finally had one sell order since those buys. But at times things can get really exciting here. Not much going on now. In the past with MUE, it's had some interesting moves. So therefore, I think it's an interesting coin to say the least. I've done the same thing as I have with AID, as far as showing the two colored lines. But before that, I'm going to show you my entry point. And it too is on December the 10th, and I'm looking at the 4-hour time frame. As it was breaking out here at 5:52, I bought, and it went down a bit more, so I bought some more. And then all of this happened. Sell, 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 basically. And then this has been the buyback, of course, to December the 31st. And it's just been a long period of going sideways. And that's really been the story for the whole general mark of the coins. They've been a lot less volatile as a whole over the last 12 months compared to the 8 or 9 months that even preceded such there. So be it. That's just how things are going to go. Sometimes these trades would go very busy, very, very active, and thus very profitable, hopefully. And then sometimes they're just going to be hodling and they're not doing much at all. So therefore, how has the trade looked? Well, not as good as AID because there hasn't been as many trades. So far, from that last sell point, I'm up a little over 20% on the trade, where the market's barely up as it is, so that's barely overperforming it. Started off that after the first buy, the blue line was lower. That is because when markets continuously go straight down, and you keep on buying, you keep on adding more, this can go significantly lower than the just buying and holding and doing nothing. And then we can see as the trading was going on, that was getting adjusted back to how it's supposed to go. Blue line rising and staying above the orange, as we can see in here. But at this point in here, it came close to the orange one, breaking out above higher because of the gain that it was having. And then now within the pullback, this one has been a little bit of a nicer one compared to this, and now just starting to separate itself from that again of the orange color line, which again, simply that's just what the calculation is, buying at the exact same original entry point and doing nothing. How much would it be up? And then it's just another way of how much the portfolio or the market's up or down since that point. And in this case, it would be up about a couple percent, if that. Let's move on next to Tron, which has got an interesting setup. I'm also going to show STEEM, but that's going to be on the more information box as it is. And within Tron, it's been in an amazing run since the end of November. Since it's gotten above the 18 average of highs, it has not been below the lows. It has spent a lot of its time above such. That's what bull markets do. And within this run so far, this was just an amazing setup that got it started. Resistance established, sideways correction, then it got above it and established this level of resistance thereafter. Price correction point back to not this area here. It didn't go close enough. It did go to this little smaller congestion area that it had for only a couple of days rather. And then an immediate rally getting to the 18 highs, and this nice little correctionary phase that's been going on. Today's session has managed to get it back to this level of previous resistance in here. While meanwhile, the 18 average still in a nice rising format that this thing has the potential to get going, just like we've seen here. I got going for a few days, big moves, something like that does seem more likely as we move forward. Amongst the 4-hour term time frame, this level of resistance in here, as we can see, has been hit in this general area for a decent amount of times, as it came up here first on January the 13th, and then it hit the upper end here on the 14th. Did so again in here, this little price correction, so now it's back at this point. Is it ready to break out above it? I don't know. Maybe. If it does, it could have some very spectacular moves going forward again. So how this holds on the short term, right around this area of around 677. On any pullbacks in that area, previous resistance, 18 average, really important level to see hold, but definitely got the potential to do some interesting things as this goes forward on the weekly term time frame. We still haven't had a move yet to this previous level of resistance, which is at around 1,000 mark, even 1,050 as a possibility. Let's now finish this video off within STEEM. And I'm going to show two crosses. I'm going to first show it against Bitcoin and then against Ethereum, because that's how I'm trading it against currently. And I've been getting sell order lately quite frequently, which is what I like, because that's how I gain my base currency. For me, in this case situation, it would be Ethereum, but had I been trading against Bitcoin, I'd be doing the same thing, trying to gain Bitcoin and getting sell orders. Over the last almost a week, it's had a nice little run. It was in the sideways consolidation for the most of the month of December and the first couple weeks of January. Had this attempt on December the 22nd. So what have I said so many times when I see something like this happen? What I need to see it to do? I need to see it hold that 18, the area for where it came from. So if I would have drawn the line in, this was this level of resistance. It's going to be the area where the 18 is. I could even lower it a bit, say, well, I mean, it doesn't have to go that. I mean, this is a nice little general area. Of course, I would have been looking at shorter term time frames to see its level. But yeah, generally speaking, I needed to see it hold 700. And we can see that's exactly what it did. It had another small attempt in here. It didn't break out, and it had a quick sell-off, but that was the lows. It had several more tests of it, more likely to test support, more likely to take it out. Well, it tested it often. It didn't take it out. And now, of course, since that point, it has had beautiful gains moving forward. So just like I stated here, it needs to hold that key area. Same thing again. So now that it's established this point, I want to see this little rectangular area of previous resistance become that area of support. If, of course, it's ready to correct now. If it's just going to keep going higher and higher, I'm going to increase these lines accordingly moving forward. But after 3 great green candles up, a couple sideways ones, up again on this session, we look at this quickly on the long-term chart before going to short-term. We can see just getting above the 18. This thing could have a nice month of end of January, first few weeks of February, going up to the 2 and the 28 handle, and who knows even how much more after that it could do it if it's ready for having a big gain. Because one of the things I say so frequently, when these things are ready to go, they are going and big time moves. 4-hour term time frame, nice little move amongst this 18 average of lows in here, getting above it on the 7 o'clock p.m. session. I got my sell order hit last night, and coming back down to this little level here. So everything right now still within the nice little bull mode. It's had a little bit of a correctionary move back to this level in here. Again, it's got so much area to fall back if it's ready to do so. And that is STEEM against Bitcoin. Let's take a look at its cross against Ethereum. And one of its differences against the daily, notice what happened up to January 5th. Basically all of November and December was in a bear market. Comparing that against Bitcoin, a lot of it was going sideways in here. Well, the reason, of course, was because Ethereum was overperforming Bitcoin, doing very well. And when Ethereum does well, and that's your cross trade, or whatever your cross market is, your altcoins that are traded against it are going to go down. And then if Ethereum has decent sized losses compared to other coins, the altcoins will go up. What I've done on the first trade I made was on this cross was December 22nd. I already owned it. I was trading against other coins. I decided to trade against Ethereum. And I sold this at 269. I could have got up to 300 obviously, but I got in here at 269. And then on Christmas Eve, December the 24th, I bought back at 235. I could have got a better price, but That's what I am getting. December 29th, it goes down to 200. I mean, I could have done better. I totally missed this buy in here, and I barely missed it. This was really barely missing it. As the low here was 176 change, my buy order missed at right around 175 or 176 area. That's how it goes. So therefore, I wasn't able to sell until January the 16th, which would have been on this first green candle day at 239 area, which would have been roughly around in here. So of course this was not a buy. This trade, of course, just showing a little bit of profit. Next trade came in at about 290, 289 and change, but rounded in three basis points to 290 in here. And then again at 345. So therefore my next two buy and sell orders, 275, just basically pretty much where I sold before area. That's where I'm looking to buy next. And if it goes up, I'm looking to go 4.25 up in here. So for me, I'm just going to let the market do what it does. I don't need to predict it. I just need to be ready when either it goes down to this point to put a lower buy order and a sell order really lower from this in, or if it goes up to the sell order, increase my buy order higher and then put a new sell order in higher. And that's really all there is to it. Simple work. As far as sports are concerned, I will be making a separate video for that, and that will be in the afternoon, but that's going to be much later in the day. I will not be back in town from doing things until, and then I got some other things to look at. Expect closer to 4 to 5:30 p.m. Eastern time is when that will come out. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.